Hey everybody. I'm so excited to see the chat already going crazy. So I was sitting here texting Rachel, who's in the chat for me today, and I'm so happy to have her. She'll be putting links in, and I was telling her, let me know if you're having any trouble with the sound. So as we get kind of started, I want to make sure everybody can hear. I'd love to hear. I saw lots of people, Georgia, California. I saw some fellow Tennesseans. I saw Pennsylvania. I'd love to know how your weather is and what's going on there. We are pretty cold, hence the sweater here, but no snow or anything like that. So today we have a fun one. And if you haven't seen this on social media yet, we are going to be playing with acetate. This is such a happy card that I was like, we have got to do a live stream on this card. And so we are going to be using acetate in 3 different ways that you may not have thought of before. One of them I think that all of you will be familiar with, but I just want to bring it back into the forefront of your mind so that you can start using it more regularly and go and just think about it a little bit more, because we could even use spare packing. There's so many things we could do. So we got lots of options today. I'm going to turn my overhead camera on. Let me see how Rachel says the sound is going. It's a little low. Okay, so let me see if I can get it just a little bit higher. Are y'all doing okay on sound out there? I'm going to see if I can get the sound just a little bit higher. Oh no, high. Go sound. Give me just 1 second here. Okay, does that make it better for everybody with the sound? Hopefully that worked. It looks like it on my level, so I'm going to switch to the overhead camera so we can look at this adorable card. And we are going to have so much fun today. So let me pop my face up. I did zoom the camera in. So on my last live stream, I practiced with trying to get the camera in a little bit more. So I hope that y'all enjoy that. If for some reason I am used to it being out of the camera and I've got something off camera, feel free to tell me in the chat. So it sounds like everything's good with the sound now. So this is our first card that we're going to make, and this is from the new release at Papertrey Ink. They have a brand new release today. I believe that Julie will be joining us in the chat at some point, but it is a super fun one, and I love how easy these emojis are and how happy they make me. So with this card, we're going to look at making an acetate front that opens up. So we're going to play with that. We're also going to look at this card, which I was really excited about. I actually tried some new stuff on it, and so I'm going to take you through some of those new things that I tried. This one is really hard to photograph because it has that acetate right in the center. And so it's really hard for me to get great pictures on social media, but look at how it shines. We've got lots of gold in the background. We have this cute new stamp and die set from Papertrey Ink that is adorable. That will be on the list. And they have a lot of new little happy birthdays. It's super cute. So we're going to look at that card as well. If we have time, we will make our third card. And if we don't have time to completely make the third card, then I'm going to at least show you this background. I want you to notice this background. And I will tell you that it was something new that I had tried. You see that swirly, shimmery part on the background? This is something that's so easy, but it was super fun to play with. And so I'm going to show you how I did that. This card to me reminds me of a Disney movie, and I would love for you to put it in the chat if you know what Disney movie this one is inspired by. So here are the 3 cards. I know we will definitely get through our emojis, and we will definitely get through this purple one. This one, we may just have to show the background. We'll see how we're doing on time, but we've got lots of fun projects. And if you haven't seen the new Papertrey Ink release, then you definitely need to do that. Yeah, I love that purple one too. It's going to be fun. The other 2 that I made that we're not going to work on today, just so you can see some more of that release, are these 2. I thought this was the perfect happy retirement card. Just happiness, put your sunglasses on, and I'll show you a few details on that one as well. Oh, yes, you are right. Okay, so everybody's guessing the Disney movie. It's my absolute favorite Disney movie, and I wanted to pop up in the screen and show you how I made that card. But I was afraid it might be copyrighted. So yes, it's Beauty and the Beast. It's Beauty and the Beast. I'm going to call this my Beauty and the Beast card. And I did the colors, and we'll talk about this background. This background is actually a copy of some of the curtains in the background of that movie. So we'll show you. It'll be lots of fun. So these two are just a couple of extras that I made, and they are just fun with some of those same dies. Just wanted to show you a few different things. I'll point out these while we're using things and kind of let you know what I've used. But we're not going to make these live today. We're going to work on those other ones because they are a little bit more in depth. And then while I get that together, while I get out all of our emojis and we start die cutting, I did want to remind you about the Cardmaker Success Summit. So that summit starts on Thursday. It starts on the 26th, and the early bird pass will be gone. Tomorrow is the last day to grab it. This is my card for that summit. I'm going to be teaching a fun fold. It has a spinner element, and you can also register free or you can upgrade your pass. You need to do that today if you're going to do it. This is a little preview of one of my freebies to print out stickers that can also go on your card. So just FYI, Rachel will put that in the thing just so that you will have it. Let's get together. I'm going to get together everything for these little cards, and we'll start with this fun acetate happy birthday card. Okay, let me just grab those dies. I am going to be using a lot of the new products, so I'm just going to get them out here. Let me move this out of the way so we don't hurt our cute little card. And we're going to be using lots of new products today. So I'm going to kind of lay those out too, and while I go through them to find everything that I need. We are going to be using these cute little cupcake dies. We're going to use this Such a Treasure die collection. We are going to, let's see, we're not going to use these three. I am looking for my emoji dies. I'm sorry. I just had it, and where did it go? There it is, stuck to the back. These are where we're starting. Let's build an emoji. Okay, so I will show you lots of these things. We got lots of fun stuff to play with, and they've got lots of new products that you definitely want to check out if you are if you're a Papertrey Ink fan. Okay, so we're going to be also looking at a lot of things from their new release, and we're going to be looking at their beautiful cardstock. So you've been asking, and I am delivering. We're going to start with Harvest Gold. Papertrey has some amazing cardstock, and it is excellent quality for not a terrible price. And so I am going to use as much cardstock as I can because I feel like with this busy card, there's no need to do any ink blending or anything. We're going to make it so cool that there's no reason for us not to just do cardstock. And sometimes I like that look too, you know? So, all right, how many of you have used acetate for your cards before? Let's see. Hi, everybody. Hi, Norma. Okay, let's start doing some serious die cutting here. We're going to do a few things at once so that we can do this. This has a perfect circle for this, but it also has a little stitched one. I decided to use the circle just because I liked that cleaner look on the front of this acetate. But we're going to cut out some yellow, and then we're going to cut out all the little pieces that go with it and assemble it so that you can see how to use the acetate. Hi, everybody. Okay, so I see some no's, I see some yes. People tried acetate. So let's get to cutting. This is the color that I'm using, Harvest Gold. I wanted to tell you we will be having a giveaway today. We are going to have a live giveaway, and we're going to have a replay giveaway. So this will be a really fun stream. So if you decide you want to enter the giveaway for the replay, just make sure you come back after it's done and comment again. All right, I'm going to need one more piece of this. So this paper is, I know Julie can tell you, but I'm just amazed at how beautiful it is. I like this soft yellow. It's not like you know how a lot of yellows are just so yellow? This one's a nice soft one. I felt like it gave these emojis a perfect color. So we need 3. Let me grab one more piece. And we'll do our third one, then we'll start cutting out some other stuff with it. We're going to definitely do some sunglasses. I love the sunglasses. I think that might be my favorite. I love those little sunglasses. Sorry, sometimes my camera loves to do that. And also, too, if y'all were looking for the replay from Friday's live stream, it had some trouble uploading to YouTube. And so if you're looking for it, make sure that you go back and check it today. It's finally there and ready. So, fun thing to do. So look at these cute sunglasses. It's so cute. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me grab some black. We'll cut these out. And I used the black for this, for a couple of these little, these are the little slits of eyes. And I used it for, sorry, I'm looking, for the smile as well. So I'm just going to cut a little piece of this off. I like to do this when I'm die cutting a lot of things so that I don't get too many wrinkles on my paper, but we can cut a lot of them out of black. So I'm going to cut these, and this black paper from Papertrey is amazing as well. I'm going to do this one. So just try to cut as many as you can. How many of you have already started finding stuff and putting things in your cart for the Papertrey? Hi, Marcy. For the Papertrey release. Okay, so I'm going to do some red hearts because these hearts look so adorable. They are so cute. I'm going to do these little hearts. They're so cute. Look at this paper too. This red paper is pure poppy. Best red I have found. And then on this, see this little weird looking die? This is actually the stripes for the birthday hat. So I'm going to go ahead and do that in red. And I'm going to do the little pom-pom in red. And I think I can fit all that on that same page. Let's see. Yeah, I love this paper. This red is pure poppy. It is, I know that it may look a little bit oranger, but it's one of the truest reds. I mean, look at it compared to my fingernails. It's like super beautiful red. It's a must-have. If you get any color, the black and the red is definitely worth it. So we're here with Papertrey Ink. I know some people are just popping in, and we've got a giveaway. We're looking at acetate. We're having so much fun. There will be a replay, so don't worry. Okay, so we need some other blues. So I grabbed a couple of other colors too that I thought just kind of coordinated well. I really liked this coral. It's called Berry Sorbet. And this is really good heavyweight paper. So I'm going to cut a little strip, and we are going to do a birthday hat on that. And then we'll run this through and get a couple more. And you can start seeing it. It'll be pretty easy for us to put our little pieces together. They are so cute and so easy. It is a good idea to hold all your pieces in some type of container. So I have this little container of parts that I started cutting. So I'm going to cut out all these and put them in there as well. So the blue, I know Becky said, I love that blue. That one is Blueberry Sky. And we'll use that too. Let's send this through and see what kind of questions. Yes, Papertrey has really amazing paper. Berry Sorbet, awesome. Look at how Berry Sorbet looks with the red. It is a great coral. I agree. I completely agree with you. So I'm going to take some of these out, put them in our little holder over here. With these, you need to make sure you get all the little pieces out. So I'm going to do that with some tweezers. Pick them up. So tell me, what are y'all up to? Is this a good time for everybody, this 4 p.m. on Tuesday? We haven't done this time for live streams. I tend to be a Friday at 3 p.m., so I'm curious on which time works the best for all of you. Yes. It's always harder to deal with these little die cuts when you're live. So I know I need some stripes in this beautiful coral color. We'll do some light blues and some dark blues. And I like just doing that. We're keeping it to primary colors, but we're kind of going off just a little bit. And I like doing that because it gives you just a nice, subtle look. It's going to be beautiful. Okay. I'm going to do this one as our little smile. Sorry. Yeah, oh, okay. So this is always a time when somebody else's live. All right. It's hard to figure that out because sometimes, you know, you don't know when everyone is. This is a nice time for Papertrey tends to do their releases on Tuesdays, so it's a nice time for that. Okay, let's do a couple little extras. We got our next cute emoji guy. Oh my goodness, that's gonna be so cute. Okay. So we have this fun little smile in here. I love that it has these teeth. We're gonna do that in white. And then we're gonna create the rest of the birthday hats, and that's all that we have to cut out. So we're gonna put some of this stuff back. We definitely need another birthday hat. Hi, Deborah. So I'm putting these back on their actual spot in here, or I'm afraid I'll lose them because there's so many little pieces. I love those sunglasses. Those things are adorable. Okay, so we're gonna cut out a little pom-pom. We're gonna cut out the birthday hat and stripes. We're gonna use a little bit of this blue. Cut out another birthday hat. Okay, and then we need a white. So let me grab that really quick. Now, as far as the acetate that I'm using today, we're going to use multiple types of acetate. We're going to do acetate. I'm going to show you for the different types of things what you can look at for the weight and the heft of the acetate. So I've got lots of tips and tricks for you today, and they will give us a lot of ideas for what we can do with the type of acetate that you have. So if you've got commercial packaging acetate that's really thick, that's going to be perfect for this card. Okay, if you've got something big and thick, that will definitely help. If you don't, that's okay. We're working on it. Okay, let's get these little ones cut out. I'm making a mess over here. Let me see what kind of questions. They are cute. So this light blue, what is that called? Spring Rain. The darker blue is called Blueberry Sky, and I think the lighter blue is called Spring Rain. And so that I can read it real fast, people who like this time better than Friday, why don't you put a number 1 in the chat? And people who prefer Friday at 3, put a number 2 in the chat, okay? All right, so we got a cute little hat. Need to make some more stripes. The little stripes, I think, are probably what takes us the longest of all this because they're so little and teeny, but it just makes such a difference on the hat. They look so cute that way. And look at these teeth. Look at those teeth. That just makes you like super happy, doesn't it? Okay, I see lots of 1s, yay. Okay, some 2s. Okay, that's good to know. Now we need a blue hat. And we'll cut a few more little things out and then we'll be able to get moving. So with your acetate, if you're going to be making along with us, get the thickest acetate that you have. That's what we're going to use first. Really thick. It could be from commercial packaging. It can be whatever you want it to be, but it needs to be a pretty substantial acetate because we're going to build a card from it. So building that card sometimes is, it needs to have some structure to it. So you don't want a little flimsy acetate. You want one that's kind of thicker. I'll show you the one that I'm using in just a second. Okay, we're almost there. We just need a couple more little spots and then we can start building our card. So I'm going to use this color, which is called Blueberry Sky, for the background of the card. I just thought that everything looked so beautiful with that as its background, and so I will use it in we'll make an A2 size card. So you'll need a 4.25 by 5.5 piece of paper. It's going to be the back of your card. go ahead and make some blue stripes and a blue pom-pom. And I'll get these off. Good. So I saw too, some people have used acetate, some people haven't. Acetate is basically just a fancy word for clear plastic. So yes, you can use other things if you want. You can use packaging, like I said. You could use, you know, sometimes you'll get a really thick piece of plastic in with things. It's really nice. Okay, I see they're out of the cardstock sampler. If you're gonna order any cardstock, I'm gonna tell you, these are the colors that I've used the most. I love this blue one. I really love the navy that's called Enchanted Evening, which is what we're gonna use for our Beauty and the Beast card. And it's a beautiful navy. And it's just their price point is crazy. It's so much better. And it's so thick. I love how thick it is. It's nice. They said it's 100 pounds, so that you know how thick it is. Okay, I think we got all our pieces now. If possible, we'll have to cut something else, but let's start building our card. So I'm going to use, for the back of my card, I'm going to use a plain blue piece of cardstock. Is that one too big? That might be too big. We're going to use, actually I cut this one down to the right level. That's the A2, okay? So we're going to use this as the back, and then let me show you what I'm doing. The acetate that I'm using is this one. This one is from Lawn Fawn, but I also felt that the acetate we used recently is pretty close. I still think Lawn Fawn, this one's okay right here. I think Lawn Fawn's a little bit thicker, and I don't have any acetate from Papertrey, so I'm not sure. Yeah. Reva says she uses plastic from packaging. I always save good, thick plastic like this. Look at what we can do with it. So I've got a long piece that's cut to 4.25. Okay. I'm not going to wrap the whole thing around, but I want to show you how I built this card. Okay. So I'm going to put it right here. You're going to need a bone folder. And yes, a bone folder actually works on plastic. Let me show you. So we're going to fold this. I've got a long, this is an 8.5 piece, so I'm going to fold it at 4.25. You can give, if you want, you can give yourself more room, but I'm going to fold it at 5.5. Let's double check our size. Yeah, 5.5, sorry. I'm going to check it at 5.5. And you do need to put some pressure on it, okay, to get a line. So I'm going to be holding down some pressure. And Altenew has this little flat end too, which sometimes will help you make a little bit better indentation in something like this. But you'll see, it definitely has an indentation, okay? So now you can take it and make that more prominent. And if you have like a metal bone folder, that's fine too. But do you see how there's that? It takes a little bit of effort to get it there. But I kind of pinch mine in the middle. And then I'm going to use the bone folder to flatten it out. And it's plastic, so it's going to take a little bit of work, okay? Do you see how we've got it? So we could keep this as an entire card base that's clear. I actually cut off an area because I didn't see the point of having it all clear. I wanted there to be some color behind it. So I'm going to trim this part down so that I can stick it on, but that I have that extra piece of acetate I can use on something else. You see what I'm saying? So it's a nice weight of acetate that will stand up like a card. All right, let me show you how I attached it. The weight, somebody's asking me the weight of the acetate. Let's see if it'll tell us. So this acetate is, here's the thickness, heat resistant, that's all I know. 0.007 thickness, but it's still nice and firm. So that's the info. All right, so I'm going to cut part of this off, and I'm going to add a big chunk of double-sided adhesive. You can do as thick as you want. I'm going to do this super thick roll that I have that I think is 2 inches. So I'm going to cut mine so that I can fit this whole 2 inches in it. So just going to cut about right here. And then save that piece of acetate. We can use this for something else, okay? So just hang on to it. You can use that for a shaker window, so many things. And then once I had it like this, I'm going to add my double-sided adhesive. So let me set this piece aside so I don't lose it. And then we'll add some nice acetate, nice double-sided adhesive. This one happens to be, obviously, from scrapbook.com. It is a good adhesive, I agree. And you just don't want to, you just want it on the back side where that short end is, okay? So I'm just putting it here. And it is, you do have to struggle with it. You've bent this plastic to where you want it to be, so sometimes it's a little bit of a struggle to get your hand in there and get that. Yes, be sure to hit thumbs up. Thanks so much. So we got a nice piece of double-sided adhesive right here. We have a front flap, and we are going to adhere it like this, okay? So it's going to sit up. And this is clear, so you can't really tell if it worried you or it drove you crazy. You could always go in and put another piece of cardstock over the back. But let me show you, once I take the lining off, you really can't see it. I mean, you can, but it's not anything obvious. Nobody's going to know. So let's take that backing off, and then you've got the adhesive. Ooh, somebody's trying to get some sneak peeks of what new colors are coming, Papertrey. I don't even know that myself, so I actually kind of would like to see that as well. What is coming? Okay, so you just got to be careful here that you don't get it stuck before you're ready. So I'm going to lay mine down and come from right here, and then I'm going to flatten it. Okay. And if yours is opening too much, you can always go back and redo your fold a little bit with the bone folder. And if you have any hanging off, you see how I've got just a little bit of extra right here. If it doesn't line up just right, just go and take your scissors and make a little trim. So mine hangs off just a little bit right here. I can always trim it just a little bit if I want to. I actually think I'm going to wait until I've got my little emojis on there for any more trimming than just that little side, because I want to make sure I've got plenty of room to stick them down. I did use this to stick the large circles. Yes, it's blue. So I think Janet is asking, how do you hit the thumbs up? If you are chatting in the live chat, you have to go over underneath where the video is and hit, there's a thumbs up there. Thank you, Tammy. Okay, so Cat Carver says, what is your top color, Papertrey? Like, what's your best selling color of cardstock? Okay, let's make our cute little emojis now. And this part is so easy. It just seems like it takes so much more time, but it's not bad at all. We will attach some adorable sunglasses to one of these. Look at how cute he is. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's go ahead and get some sunglasses. And then we'll do a smile on the sunglasses one. So I'm just going to use some glue. So if you were doing these die cuts, would you add ink blending to them, or do you like the bold look of no ink blending with the cardstock? Oh, hi from Italy. I would think that of the cardstock, I would say that Papertrey sells the most of their white. They've got a really nice white too, but we'll find out. All right, there's our cute sunglasses. So adorable. And then we're going to put a smile on him, and then we'll work on some birthday hats. So these, I think that these emojis would work so great. Like, I used mine for a retirement card. And whoops, I dropped that, didn't I? Oops. I dropped my little piece. Let's see if I can pick him up now. Well, I'll put some more glue on him. I wasn't paying enough attention, I guess. All right. Yeah. So this guy's gonna get a smile because of course he's cool and like has a closed mouth smile. That's what I think of this little guy. He's just a cool cucumber. All right. Our next one is going to have the fun white teeth. So we're gonna do the fun white teeth right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on. Look at how cute that smile is. And I didn't do anything extra. I just used cardstock, okay? So he's got his adorable things. I like these little squinty eyes because they just make you think that this person is so happy. Oh my goodness. And when I say person, I mean emoji. So I'm going to put some little squinty eyes because he's just laughing. Okay. Let's see what we got. Hi, glad to have you. We're going to have a giveaway during the live, and we have a replay giveaway. We are working with the new Papertrey Ink release, and it just came out today. So if you are interested in it, use the links that I have. Rachel will be putting some links. Look at this guy. He does look like he fell asleep with his whitening trays in. That's okay though. We're going to cover up part of him. And then of course we need one with heart eyes, you know, just so for me, these dies too are really great. I have teenage boys and I can, even if I put like little heart eyes on them, they can be used for men, women, whoever. The boys really thought they were super cute. My boys did, sorry. Okay, so we got our cute. I'm going to scoot that heart just a little bit. Scoot him out just a little bit. Oh my goodness, look at that red on the yellow. Oh, such a great color. This is pure poppy on these red, and then the yellow is harvest gold. Okay, we're just gonna give the one that is smiling just a little smile, little bitty thing. I think this is actually supposed to be an eye, but I used it as a little small smile. There's so many pieces on this. It even has a mask. I think these would make great get well cards. Okay, we'll put his little face on. Look at these guys. Oh my goodness. I love the hard eyes too. I just think the yellow and the red really like pops together. He's laughing out loud. Okay, so I'm going to leave these guys right here, but we're going to build some, I liked using the little birthday hats. See these cute birthday hats? And I kind of took up some extra space in the card so that for me, it was one of those things where you needed a little bit more. So you don't have to have these extra pieces over here, but for me taking pictures of this card, it looked very strange having a like floating missing corner. So I went on and did I was gonna do a birthday one here anyway, so I went on and added a couple little details in the plastic just to help me with photos, and also I just thought it kind of looked cute. So we're gonna add a couple of those. One thing I do want to point out to you is that this has so many different little things that you could use different ways. So if you noticed on my retirement card, I actually took this, which I'm sure is supposed to be, I don't know what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be something on here for an emoji. I'm guessing an eye or a mouth. I don't know. But I took it and made confetti with this happy retirement card. So I took that little die. To me, it kind of looked like a little string of confetti. So you can use these all different ways, and I thought that that would just be kind of a nice way to stretch your things if you wanted to add a little extra. Use some of the dies and just create some fun stuff. I do need to cut out this little bitty heart because that's one of our extra details. Cut this guy out really quick. Y'all tell me, you got questions? I'd like to know how many of you have tried foiling on acetate. Are any of you hot foilers? Just put a yes or no if you've tried it, or a Y or an N in the chat so I can see it fast. Okay. Look at that cute little heart. Oh, adorable. Okay, so let's put our beautiful little birthday hats together. Gotta see how it is. Yeah, that would be really cool to do. See, put a sentiment on the back. You can. And you can also cut out some extra round ones and cover it up if you wanted to. I just kept mine pretty simple. So no, you haven't tried it. Okay, we'll play with that a little bit. We're not going to do I've got it already pre-done, but I wanted to show you how it looks on acetate, which is really cool. It just gives a nice sparkly look. So we got these guys. Let's put together their hats. I'm going to move them off to the side so that I don't, these hats are pretty delicate. So I'm going to actually use a sticky mat to hold them down, and then I can apply their little stripes. So we're going to do a dark blue one, a light blue one, and this beautiful berry one, okay? And I'm gonna do the darker blue stripes on the berry. So these stripes, I use tweezers. You could use one of the little wax pickers, you know? Oh my goodness, yes, definitely. So if you haven't heard, I know somebody just said they were watching my presentation for the Cardmaker Success Summit. Make sure that if you're going to go to the Cardmaker Success Summit that starts in 2 days, that you go ahead and get a ticket, or if you're upgrading your ticket, that you do that, because all the prices will go up and the free ticket will disappear. So if you haven't done that yet, Rachel will put that in there. Do I save all the tiny pieces? Only if I'm gonna make another card relatively soon. So if I know I'm gonna be making a lot more of these and I'm gonna be doing a ton of emoji cards, then yes, I might save these little bitty pieces. I still save things like, I would save the birthday hat. I may not save the stripes. It's just hard to keep up with the stripes. And make sure too, if you have questions while I'm putting things together, yeah, it does, that you put the word question in front of it so that I can see it really well, okay? That helps me to check it. Yeah, I agree, that acetate is really fun, and it surprises the person that's getting it. They're just kinda like, "This is amazing. How amazing is this? Somebody, like, put all this together." Okay. So the nice thing about keeping all of your little pieces in a container is that you can kind of search through them and get them out, which is nice, and put these little bitty intricate puzzles together. I do think I need to be better with my tweezers, as you can tell, but that's okay. It's hard to do intricate work when you're live. Makes my hands a little shaky. Okay, so look at that cute. Oh man, that is so cute. So what do y'all think about the zoomed in camera? If you didn't see me on Friday, are you enjoying it being a little bit closer, or had you rather see a wider view? How about if you enjoy it being closer, just put a C. Yes, and I see one question there from Arlene. I will answer in just a second. Okay, for this one, we're going to use our sorbet stripes. So Arlene, question, does acetate get affected by the hot foil? Yes, it does. There are certain acetates that are made to be heat resistant. I did use those and I still got a little bit of warping. So there are ones that are made to be used with heat, but you know. Okay, I see lots of C's. All righty. So when you are making, so if you were making this emoji thing, tell me what holiday you would use it for. Would you use it for birthday cards? Would you use it for happy retirement, a real happy get well? Tell me what you would use these emoji cards for. Both. I know, she said, my brain goes nuts when I switch from reverse tweezers to regular tweezers. I agree. Sometimes it's just like, I'm doing the best I can. And I like using the little pokey tools, but sometimes with these little pieces, like to get the placement right, I have to do it with tweezers. If you're that good with those like wax tip pokey tools, yay, I'm glad. I just cannot get them to do this detailed of work. I have to use some tweezers. Look at that cute hat. Oh my goodness. And then we're gonna do red stripes on this blue one. And the red on this blue, so this is called Spring Rain. Perfect. Looks so good. And I like that the stripes, they have a flat side and then they have kind of a curved side. And so you can line all the flat sides up on one. To me, the flat sides fit better on this side of it, but you can do it however you want to. Nobody's going to notice. Yeah, get well, I think would be good. I'm going to use it for sure as a birthday card for the teenagers in my life. They will love it. People like my mom would probably prefer some flowers on her cards, but my teenagers love this. They are loving it. So also, just FYI, this will be on replay. I am about to be out of town for a while, so there will be videos on my channel. But I won't be live until, this is my last time to be live with you, except at the Cardmaker Success Summit Friday. This is my last time to be live with you until the end, like the 3rd week in March. So I'm super enjoying getting to spend this time with you. Yes, these would be great for grandkids. Great for grandkids. Okay, we need one more red. Does anybody see it? Oh, there it is. See how teeny that is? But these things, you're going to love it when you see them up close. They look so good. Okay. That looks so cute. Okay, now we just need to put our little hat toppers on here. So these, you've got this little end and they fit fine gluing them to the end. Would rub-ons work with acetate? Yes. So Debbie says, would rub-ons work with acetate? I believe that they work fine with acetate. But has anybody had any experience with that? I don't use a ton of rub-ons, so I can't tell you 100%, but I don't see why they wouldn't, unless they just need a really grippy surface to hang on to. Oh, thanks, Joyce. Yes, I will be I will enjoy it, and I will of course put pictures on social media once I'm back. It's going to be a fun one, but exhausting. But you know, I was telling my husband, I was like, but when else are we going to do it? We got to go and enjoy while we can. All right. Okay, so we got our little hats. Got to be careful with that end because it's still wet. Now let's put this card together. Thank you. Yeah, Kat says she thinks you could use rub-ons. So this mat that I am working on is my fave. So the mat is the Altenew sticky mat, and I just fold mine up because I'm putting it over to the side. You can store them flat, you can store them folded up, but it holds on to things, and it's made out of some type of silicone or plastic, and it's just really, I use it all the time. If you see my videos, you'll know I use it in almost every video. All right, so let's put this card together, okay? I am going to put something, let's see if this will hold. I've got a magnetic mat under here, but I'm gonna see if I can hold this flat. Close. See if I can hold the top part flat too. Just because that plastic wants to bend, and so I'm just barely holding this. Underneath this mat is one of the Glassboard Studio mats, and so this is magnetic, so it will hold it down, okay? And I'm just trying to hold that flap that is on, sorry, that acetate flap because it's just a little easier to work with if you hold it down. Okay, so I see that she's asking about what the Cardmaker Success Summit is. That is a summit that has about 40 different people who are presenting different classes, and it has free options, it has paid options. There's lots of bonuses. For me, I'm doing a fun fold card, and it's just a really good way to get to know lots of different crafters and find some new people and new techniques that you might like. So I think I'm going to go about here. I'm going to try to put this guy kind of center. So I'm going to hold it there, and I'm going to hold it here. Okay, so let's start with this guy. And I am not going to use any glue on the acetate so that it doesn't stick out and cause the glue to get on the clear part, because you want it to look like these dies are floating. So we're just going to use double-sided adhesive. Go ahead and put it on all of them. And then we'll use double-sided adhesive even on the little party hats, everything. That one's just a little bit big. Hey everybody, see Diana. So sticky mat is plastic, and it is, I don't know what makes it sticky, but it really does help in making cards. So I like it to hold things down. You can also, if you've got a glass mat, you can hold things down with your glass mat and magnets, but it just helps on the surface so you don't lose these little bitty things that you have here. It just helps you keep up with stuff and also hold it where you want it to go. So I hope that explains it. Yeah. So the Cardmaker Success Summit, if somebody's still asking questions, I am doing, if you got in here a little bit late, if you go back to the beginning, and I'll show you in just a second, I'm making a fun fold card. I'm going to put this guy here. I'm going to do this one. And it's really cute. It's a fun fold with amazing, an amazing spinner element. It's super fun. Okay, so we are going to this guy's going to be on the top, so I'm going to stick this one first, okay? We'll stick our heart face first. And I just love, like, especially for kids, and just if you're not a card maker and you see this card and you realize that these little die cuts, they look like they're floating in the air. And I love that about this card. So we're going to put him here, and then we're going to put our sunglasses on top. And it may cover up just a little bit of that smile, but you don't want to make your card too big to fit in an envelope. So we got our three guys. Now we got our little hats, and we'll put those on with double-sided adhesive. So as far as acetate, I would suggest using double-sided adhesive. So if these fit over, it'll fit in a 5x7 envelope, but it won't fit in an A2. So you could always cut your base a little bit smaller to have some leftover, but this is exactly an A2 with a little bit of overlap. So I would put this in a 5x7 envelope. And really, I have been doing that a lot more with my cards. If you've been worrying about what size envelope to get, a 5x7 in the US is the same price as an A2. And a lot of times if you got little extra elements, it gives you just a little bit more room. And sometimes I'll get away with a little bit more mailing thicker cards and larger cards by putting it in a 5x7 versus the A2. So just a little tip. So for these smaller ones, I'm just going to a smaller double-sided adhesive. This one's from Altenew. So let's put a little line of double-sided adhesive. You could use a tape runner. I just know that double-sided strip adhesive like this, to me, holds better than my tape runners. So that's why I use it. And yes, you can tear it. I just like to cut it because it's easier. Okay, so we got our three hats. We also need our little bitty heart that we're going to do, and then we'll be done with this part of the card. We still need to do some stamping on it, which I'll show you how I did. You could do it before you actually put it together, but I liked doing it after because then I can make sure that it looks like they're floating and the sentiment is hidden behind these cute little emojis. Okay, so we've got double-sided adhesive on everything. Check. Now we can undo this part. Try not to smush my hands with those magnets. Those magnets are intense. Yeah, you could definitely do the back. Somebody just said something about an A6 envelope. Is that a 5x7 envelope? I can't remember if A6 is 5x7. Okay. So I'm going to put this little heart over in this area. Right there. Yeah, that would be a cute thing. Somebody said they would put a wobble on the top one. That would be really cute. Be kind of like a double interactive. That would be very cute. Use our little berry sorbet one. And then next we're going to do a little bit of like mixed media. It's going to be fun. So we're kind of going from like no ink blending to using some sprays and ink blending. So we got everything in this live stream. Okay, and I'm going to put this right here just to take up a little bit of space. And then we'll give the little guy with sunglasses a birthday cap as well. Birthday hat. So cute. Oh my goodness. And I like kind of tilting it so that it fits on your card, okay? So I'm going to go kind of right here. There. Now look at that. So you can see it's the see-through floating. Looks like they're floating in the air. That's so cute. All right, and then I am going to put my sentiment. So you can see the back of those dies when you open up the card. So if you wanted to put some circles and do some writing or sentiments on the inside flap, you could. I did not do that because I know the person is likely going to open it this way, and so I just wanted to have my sentiment right here. So we're going to use happy birthday, of course. Let's get my stamp wheel and I'll show you how I stamped it like this. So if you don't know what a stamp wheel is, this is a thing that also has a sticky mat in it. And it has a removable side right here so that I can stamp this way, or if you want to do it any other way, you can. It's just easier to stamp it with part of it hanging out like this, okay? And I know that means I'm going to be stamping from the side, but look, I can just turn my stamp wheel. No big deal. So let's grab what stamps we're going to use. We're going to use some from this new set, and it's got a cute happy font. So let me show you. It may take me a second to get to it. Oh, there it is. So this is the new Happy Everything. This is what I use for both of those. Yes, okay, so somebody said, does it stay standing up? Okay, yes, it does. I'll show you that in just a minute. Let's stamp this, and then I'll show you how it stands up. I picked an acetate that is very thick, and so it does stand up well. So I'm going to do happy birthday. And I'm going to put these here, and then I'm going to kind of close my card to make sure that I've got them covered up by our emojis so you can't see through it. So it gives you that floating effect a little bit better. You could do this by making some marks on your card if you want, but I generally tend to do it with closing the card. Make sure that nothing is showing. So I'm going to be able to cover that completely. That's good. All right. And I am going to pick these up. So this is the top of the stamp wheel, and we're going to pick up our stamps with it. So this picks them up, okay? And then we can add some nice black ink. I'm going to go with VersaFine Clear Nocturne. Yes, I like both sizes of the stamp wheel, but there really are some things with the stamp wheel 2.0 that you can do that are nice for those bigger stamps and for things like this that need to kind of hang off. You know, I could have planned ahead and done my stamping ahead of time, but I wanted to show y'all that this really does work quite well. Just hang it off the edge. Hi from Illinois. Yeah, these sentiments are great. There we go. Happy birthday. I might be slightly off on my level there. I'm close. I might stamp it once more just to make it a little darker. So these, what I really love about these, I love Happy Retirement because I didn't have anything like that. And I love this that you've got Happily Ever After. It's going to be great for some wedding cards. I think that's very nice. I don't have a whole lot of wedding sentiments, so that was nice. Yeah, this is one of my favorite black inks. It's a nice ink. I like the Altenew Obsidian black ink as well, but this one's really nice. Okay, so after this card, we're going to get messy with the next one, okay? And play with some stuff that Melissa taught me about. All right, so let me show you how this stands up. Let me wipe off my stamp real quick. Okay, put that back, and then I will show you how this card stands up and how it just makes somebody so happy. So these are a definite must-have, these sentiments. If you love Papertrey sentiments, I love these. I love the big chunky ones like this. They're perfect for like little strips, just cute as can be. Okay, so I'm going to unstick this. So this is a mat that's sticky like we were using before. And so you can bend it. I actually just removed anything excess, so it's extra sticky. So you see I got to peel my card off of it. Okay, and then you can put your mat back in. Hang on. And underneath my mat, I put another, it's like a Cricut mat, just so I can have that nice grid. So that's a little tip on a stamp wheel is it's nice to have the grid underneath it since these are clear sticky mats. Okay, and then this edge goes back on it like that. Sorry, I know it's a little bit out of the camera since I've zoomed everything in. Let me move that out of the way. All right, here's our card. Let me show you. I needed to let this dry just to make sure that ink is dry. That needs just a second. Let's let it go. Yeah, I always need sentiments as well. So let's make sure that's good and dry so we don't get any transfer. I'm actually gonna check it on this. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna redo my fold a little bit since I did bend it out of whack. I'm just gonna press down on my fold a little bit more. Make sure I got a nice, good, tight fold. Okay. And then look, it stands like this. So you've got your floating die cuts, and then you have your cute sentiment inside. Like I said, you could decorate all of this if you wanted to. You could do some more circles and put something else fun in there. I think it would look really cute. But I just think it's the happiest birthday card I think I've seen in a long time. I love that it's so happy. Oh my goodness. Am I this big smiley face one? Okay, I think that's me right there with my closed eyes and super smiley face. Yeah, so it's pretty easy, and you can see the acetate on the back. If you wanted to, you could put another piece of cardstock here and cover it up, but I don't mind it. I think not many people are looking at the back of my card, and they're gonna be so excited with this part of it that I'm not super worried. So, super cute, easy to do. That's just stuck on there with static, sorry, static on it. But I just think that that one turned out adorable. So here's kind of here's the original. Here's the new one, pretty similar. But look, they both stand up. And you can see as that double-sided adhesive kind of dries or gets completely stuck, it's actually even clearer than it was. So yeah, if that doesn't make you smile today, I don't know what will. So we're gonna make some other fun stuff too. Let's start. Now this one needs to dry a little bit, so we're gonna get it going and then we will play with some other things. So we're gonna play with some mixed media now, which means I need to clear off my desk. So tell me, pop up questions if you've got them. Let me know what you're thinking in there and I will answer what I can. Yeah, no one looks at the back. Sorry, I'm trying to move this around. And are y'all big shaker card fans? Do you make mini shaker cards? I'd love to hear if you do that. Because acetate, of course, is always great for shaker cards. So see how this one wants to stand up a little bit more? All you got to do is pressure fold a little bit more. If you want it to be flatter, just press that fold better. It is plastic, so it takes a little working. You can see this one stays and it still sits up fine. I just did a little bit more bone folding right there. Okay, let's look. So now we are going to use some fun sprays. Now, I learned this from Melissa, so you will see her use these sprays all the time. Sorry, I need to make a little bit of a thing here. And we're going to use this purple. So I'm going to get out a splat box because I'm going to add some nice gold to the back of this. And we're going to be using this Distress Spritz Fossilized Amber. Yeah, I love making shaker cards because I feel like I get so many of the, I kind of overdo it sometimes on the confetti and all that stuff. And so I try to get my shaker cards done to use up some of those cute embellishments. Yeah, so this is Distress Spritz. If you follow Melissa, who makes lots of cards for Papertrey, she loves using this stuff. And that's actually where I learned about it. So I'm going to use a box. It's a mess. And we're going to spray this. And all I'm going to do is just spray it gently. So I do have to shake it. Oh yeah, so Danielle, what colors of the Distress Spritz do you like? I love that this one looks so, it's a beautiful gold. Thanks, Patty. Hope you're feeling good, Patty. All right, so let me see. I'm going to try to come up with a good question for y'all for the giveaway. Let me think of what I can ask here. I wrote a couple things down. Okay, so tell me, if you were using acetate, are you going to try using it on a card front like we did, or do you tend to stick to it with the shakers? Okay, so here's our Distress Spritz. Just tell me in the comments. And then I'm going to have you pick your favorite color of Papertrey cardstock. I'll tell you some of the colors that we've used, and we'll put those in the chat, and she will draw a winner, okay? So if you already know your favorite, that's fine. So I'm just spraying kind of lightly. Sometimes it goes a little bit bigger. Okay. Look at how sparkly that is. Oh my goodness. That was so hard to photograph too in the card, but I love how beautiful this is. Look at that on the purple. And yes, it's on my hands too. It's just a really sparkly, nice accent that's pretty easy to do. And so we'll let that dry while we work on the rest of the card. So we're going to do a fun gold and purple card. And if y'all, I know I love purples. I love seeing all these different colors of Papertrey cardstock. So what I said before, just to make sure that everybody catches it, put in the chat your favorite color of cardstock. If you know a color of Papertrey that they have and you want everybody to know that that one's your favorite, let us know. If you don't know their specific colors and you just like red cardstock, just put red. But line up the chat with lots of different colors, and we'll have Julie pick a winner if she's available. If she's not, and we'll have Rachel pick a winner for the live stream giveaway. Okay, so we'll let this dry. I'm going to set it behind me, and we're going to make some cupcakes. So I'm going to be using the stamp wheel to make the cupcakes. We'll definitely need this because we're going to use this adorable stamp set. Let me show you. Okay, we're going to be using this stamp set, which is called Floral Confections. Okay, it makes these really cute cupcakes. So it's got lots of different details. We're going to stick mainly with the cupcakes, and we're gonna make some of these roses. So I'm gonna be using some beautiful purples that match the paper. I also wanna show you where acetate comes in on this card is this. This is a foil plate, and we're not gonna do it on camera because foil plates take a long time to heat up, but this is from the filigree frame hot foil. So this is gonna be part of our card, but I pre-foiled it. So you can see when you foil acetate, this is a heat resistant one, but can you see in the center how it kind of bubbles it up a little bit? So it's not ever completely perfect. So it's definitely worth putting something over it, which is where our cupcakes will come in. Yes. So Julie, are you out there to pick a winner? So this is what we use on that. I'm going to set that aside because we're going to make some cupcakes. I'm going to go ahead and die cut the cupcakes once I find the die. Right here. So it comes with die cuts to cut them out. You could stamp this bottom part, but I'm just going to cut this out. So I'm going to cut it out of purple, and it's going to be a little bit lighter purple than our base. So we're going to be using, I'm going to show you the two purples. The base of our card is Winter Wisteria. Okay. The cupcake is going to be cut out of Lilac Grace, and then we're going to use some coordinating inks to create this card. Yes, so I'm going to cut this out of the Lilac Grace. So we'll cut our cupcake base, and I'm going to cut this too just in case I need a little bit to pop it up on. So we're going to cut these two things out, and I'm one of those people who likes to cut things out and then stamp on them. So we're going to cut some white paper as well that we're going to stamp on. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to just stamp, then we'll cut. That'll be fine. Yeah, purple wisteria is very nice. This one's Lilac Grace, and it's a beautiful color that works well with the purple. So we'll cut both of these out, and then I'm going to add a little bit of ink blending to them just to give them that nice little cute look. And I decided to use this. It's number 3, I believe. I actually did both. I did a double-decker cupcake, so I'm going to end up using all of these. And we're going to stamp them in coordinating purple colors. So I'm going to cut these two out. You can also use this blank piece. They have some stencils that you can do some polka dots and all that. Okay, so Kim, it looks like, is our winner. If you are in the replay right now, we are having a replay giveaway. So at this time, make sure you put in the comments of the replay that it is the replay so you can be entered. And it looks really cute stacked up. So this back one's slightly bigger than the front one. You see how it stacks like that? It's super cute. Okay, we'll hang on to this piece of paper. We'll use that again. All right, let's make some cute purple flowers. Yes, congrats, Kim. So exciting. Now you definitely need to go make yourself a wish list so you can grab some Papertrey things. She'll have you email her, and that's where you'll get the e-gift card. Make sure you have an account at papertrey.com. Papertreyink.com. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of ink blending to this, and then we'll do some stamping. So let me grab my mat here. And I have 2 of these mats. So you've seen a clean one, and now you get to see a dirty one. So where did I buy the acetate that I used? It's Lawn Fawn acetate, the real thick one is. And I think I bought it at Lawn Fawn. I might have bought it at my local craft store, but they have it at scrapbook.com. So it can be any of those places. The Distress Spritz that we just used, Papertrey sells that. And we're going to use some more of it because I want to show you that Beauty and the Beast card as well. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little bit of ink blending on this, and I'm going to use these coordinating colors. So these are the colors that I have of Papertrey ink. I have the Lilac Grace, which is the color of this cardstock, the Winter Wisteria, which is what we're using, and then I have one that's a little bit darker called Amethyst Allure. I love that they have a lot of purples. Sometimes it's hard to get a good purple. So I'm going to come in with the Winter Wisteria, and I'm going to come in from the edges and just create kind of a spotlight effect on this. So there we go. Is that still in view okay? Thank you, Rachel, for popping that up for me. So I'm just coming along the edges and giving a little bit of dark color to this. Just, it looks really cool on the card, so I just like that little bit of shadow. Tell me if you like ink blending on your die cuts, or if you just like to cut it out of colored cardstock. Are you a cutout person, or are you an ink blender person? Tamara says that it looks like that Papertrey is winning the purple contest. Yes. You know, it's really hard to find good purple cardstock. It really is. I struggle with that because there's just, you know, there's so many different kinds of purple, and just having a good true purple is really nice. So this, I highly recommend these purples. I probably, if I was picking my #1 color to get from them, I'd pick Pure Poppy, or I'd pick Enchanted Evening, which is a navy, just because I use those colors more. But if I was picking the colors that I think they have way better than everybody else, their purples are amazing. I really like their yellows. That Pure Poppy is a great red. Great red. Yeah, and Tamara, she won a birthday card for me. It's actually sitting in here. It's going to the post office tomorrow. Is today your birthday, Tamara, or is it? I think you said it was coming up in a couple days. I hope it makes it by then. I don't know if it will, but I hope it does. So see how cute that looks with that just little bit of shading? I'm going to go ahead and glue these two together, and then we'll start stamping. I just love it when there's color coordinated cardstock to different types of types of stamp ink, because then you can do that ink blending really easily. Okay, here's our little cupcake. The black one with the card script. Okay, so somebody's asking which mat. Are you talking about the mat right here, or are you talking about the mat that's in the stamp wheel? I can tell you what those are if so. This one is an Altenew sticky mat. It's a 9x12 Altenew sticky mat. The black grid one is also an Altenew mat. It's a cutting mat. I just like it because I can see the grid so much. So let me grab the stamp wheel. Where did I put it? Right here. Okay, let's do some stamping on white. I'm going to set aside my little cupcake bottom, and we're going to make some cute flowers. So for this, these are layers, and see how they're labeled 3A, 3B, 4A, 4B, so you know which ones go with which. Okay, so let's do some stamping. I'm just going to do kind of a small piece of white. I'm going to cut this so that it sticks better. And we only need a part of it, so I'm going to cut it, and we'll make 2 layers of our cupcake. So let's start, and we can stamp all this stuff at the same time, which is nice. So I'm going to start with 3A, leave myself a little bit of room to die cut it out because we'll die cut it, and 4A. Put that one kind of right here to die cut. And then I'm going to pick them up with the stamp wheel, and we're going to add some small purple roses. See these little roses? These are going to be a little bit of an ordeal to cut out, but they look so cute on top that I have to have them. So we're going to stamp these in various colors. The name of the stamp set that I'm using is called Floral Confections. So if you're looking for that on the Papertrey site, that's what it is. Okay, so Joy said both black mats. So the black mat that is underneath my other stamp wheel, I'll show that in just a minute, okay? We're gonna start with our light color, which is Lilac Grace, and I'm gonna do the first layer in the light color. So just, it almost can't tell that I'm stamping it because it's such a nice light purple, but it looks beautiful on the white. So this is Lilac Grace, and we're stamping our layer A. Uh-oh, I forgot my other guy. We'll pick it up on the way. And I've got this little rose here, so I'm going to stamp that one in Lilac Grace as well. So let's stamp our little rose here. The rose only has one layer, which is nice because we can stamp a few of them and cut them out. See that? How cute it is. I'm going to add just a little bit more. Thank you, Rachel, for finding all those links for her. I always present a challenge to Rachel. Sometimes I forget to put things on the supply list. Oh, hey, Melanie. Thanks for joining us. We're doing some stamping. Look at that. Oh, that is so beautiful. Okay, and it looks a little darker. It will kind of dry lighter, but it looks beautiful. So we're done with these two base layers. Now we're going to do our other stamp, which is the second layer of these flowers. So these are the tops of cupcakes is what we're doing. And it layers it for you here. They fit together. I think the roses is my favorite. So we're going to put some bigger roses with a darker color. Got that right there. And then this will be the second layer of the other one. Okay, so let's line them up. You may have to see my head for a second, but these fit perfectly so that you can put your little cute roses in the middle. And this one's more like regular flowers. And you see how there's open spaces? Now you get to come in with this layered one, and then you can put it over it and fill in. So you've got multicolor flowers, which are beautiful. Okay. And I'm going to put our little rose down here. We'll cut another one of those. And then I'm going to do this just a little bit darker. So we're going to use the Winter Wisteria on this part and see what we think. Oops, missed that guy. Okay. Now let's add some Winter Wisteria. Okay, so we got that. Look at how cute it looks. Yeah, how many of you have tried the Distress spritz like I just used? I think I'm actually going to make those darker. I think I'm going to go with the dark purple for these flowers so it's more obvious. So let's do a little bit darker flower. Yeah, because I like this darker color better, this Amethyst Allure. I think it's going to show up better for you. Look at how cute that is. So cute. Okay, now I want to make some more roses so that we have them, and I'm going to do that. I'm just going to use a little acrylic plate because resetting it on here is going to be difficult. So let's just do a few different stamps. We'll do different colors of these purples. So we're going to use all the different colors, and we're going to create lots of little fun stamps. And that's just to add to the top of our cupcake. I thought it looked really cute, so I decided to make some more. Yes, we're going to use the spritz again for the Beauty and the Beast card. So just FYI, I'm going to show you how that background came together. So we will definitely be using that. So just hang on a little bit. And I'm going to show you another way that I played with it. You know, I love to experiment. So I experimented with it and was really impressed with how well it did. So this one is the Winter Wisteria. It's a little bit more of a, it's kind of a medium color between these two. And we're going to cut these out, so it's fine to stamp a few. Not going to use all of them, but we will use a few. And I'm going to stamp some dark ones too. I think we'll end up using 5 of these roses. I just like to get myself a couple of options here. But look at how cute that rose is. It would make such a cute little border. Oh, that's great, Kathy. Yeah, there will be a replay giveaway, so don't worry. Just did the live giveaway, but that's the difference in those colors. So we've got Lilac Grace, Amethyst Allure, and Winter Wisteria. And we've got 2 cupcake covers. It looks so cute. Before I put up our stamp wheel though and cut these out, I'm going to let them dry just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and stamp the happy birthday. So let's stamp the happy birthday on some coordinating purple paper as well. And we'll stamp it in the darker purple. So let me get that out and we'll do a little stamping, and then that will give this ink a little time to dry, and we can put together our cupcake. Put these back on here so I don't lose them. We'll need those dies. Okay, so I'm going to stamp happy birthday, and I'm going to use this set. I am going to use the lighter purple color. So we're going to use this color to stamp on. I'm going to stamp in the dark purple. And I'm going to use the fun Scripty Happy. I like that happy. Scripty Happy. And we'll do birthday again. I needed some birthday cards, so y'all can tell I'm a little heavy on birthday cards. While I'm doing this, why don't y'all ponder, if you saw at the beginning the blue card, it's the one with the rose. I can't decide what sentiment to put on this one. So be thinking about that while we're finishing up our purple, and let me know what you think. What you think that should say. All right, so I'm trying to line these up and make them nice and flat and even. We'll stamp them in that darker purple color. First of all, I need to get these off. Still have my stamps on here. Trying out a new stamp wiper from Amazon because my Gina K Tidy Towel was getting a little bit messed up, and so I had these, and we'll see what we think. I don't know what I think yet, but I definitely like the Tidy Towel from Gina K a little bit better, but in a pinch, those are definitely working fine. And they're probably in my Amazon store. So my stamps sometimes stain, but if you wipe them off quickly, most of the time they don't. I'd say this has a little bit on there, but the worst staining is with red. You know, it's just red will get you every time. Red and purple sometimes can be bad, but this purple hasn't bothered me. We'll see. I've already stamped something in this, and I don't think it stained it, so I'm going to stamp with this Amethyst Allure because this is the darkest purple that I have. Let me scoot this up so you can see it. I'm so happy to be with y'all today. It's really crazy that I'm going to be out of town and not be around for lives for a few weeks. So I am enjoying hanging out with everybody for the last time before I leave town. Anybody else do anything fun, over the next few weeks? So that happy to me is a little bit off. I'm going to straighten up my happy. So I'm going to go like right here. It doesn't have to be perfect, but sometimes I get a little bit OCD about that. Okay, let's try it like that. Hello, Christine. Yeah, that would be a good sympathy card. You're right, Kathy. Yeah, I like that just a little bit better. I'm going to stamp this a couple times just to make it a nice dark purple. Look at that. That looks nice. I like it. That's going to be just a little sentiment at the bottom of our beautiful purple card. I think I'm pretty impressed at how fast that Distress Spritz dries. It's pretty nice. I like it. I am definitely a fan. And I'm definitely a fan of these sentiments here. I love all these different ways that you can do the happy and the birthday and all these different things on here. It's a great set. That's one of the new ones called Happy Everything. Oh, Danielle, that's a good one. Yes, I wipe those stamps immediately as well. So this will be our sentiment. We'll cut that out in just a minute. Let's do a little die cutting and put our cute cupcake together. And let me check on our panel and see if it is getting dry. Here's our panel that we're going to use. Yeah, that's really already almost dry, so that'll be good. Okay. Let that sit back there for just a minute while we cut out our cute cupcake parts. So one thing I love is that Papertrey often has die cuts for pretty much everything. So we've got the die cuts for the tops of these cupcakes, and we got the little die cut that does the roses as well. So I will line these up. I'm using an Anna Griffin Impress machine, and this is a magnet. So you'll see when I put my dies down that they stay where I want them to because it's got a magnet sheet behind it. Really helpful. And we'll cut out some roses too. And this set has tons of greenery and things you could put around your cupcakes. I just liked the cupcakes. I wanted to keep mine completely cupcakes. All right, so let's cut these out. So I said earlier, and I thought I'd say it while I'm running this through, but if you are coming in a little bit late, make sure that if you haven't done it yet and you're coming to the Cardmaker Success Summit, that you go ahead and get a ticket. Tomorrow is the last day to grab that. Rachel will be putting it in the links. It'll also be in the description of this video. I'd love for y'all to be there. I'm going to be live again on Friday at 3 p.m. with the Cardmaker Success Summit. And I'll just be live for like 30 minutes. And I'll be on their channel. So if y'all want to catch that, make sure you do. Make sure it's nice to watch my little card class. Look at these. Oh my goodness, those are cute. Okay, let's cut out a few more of these roses. I liked having about 5 roses to stack on top of the cupcake because I didn't do any candles or anything like that since it was so florally. I thought, of course, it needs some more florals. So we'll cut out a few roses. And I'm sure that die is supposed to go a certain way, but it really fits most any way you put it on. Sometimes these little dies are a little bit harder on the magnet sheet, so you may have to, yeah, may have to put like just a smidge of sticky on that because it's such a small magnet or such a small die that sometimes it's a little hard to do. Even that's not sticky enough. Sorry, I'm looking for my excess tape here. Okay. Yeah, that's great, Angela. I'm glad you're getting to check them out. Papertrey's a great company. I really love working with them. They are fun. And Arlene, Arlene, did you ask earlier if they've got a sentiment set that's just faith-based? I think you asked that. And I don't think so, but we could ask Julie if she didn't answer you. So our little card is coming together. Oops. So we need 2 more roses. And I kind of just did an assortment of all the different colors of the roses. That piece of tape just kind of stuck to it. Danielle says, Do you design your cards before you go, or are you a design as you go? I am a design as you go. Y'all know I love experimenting, and I never have a complete plan. Like, I may have a plan that it's going to be acetate. So a lot of times when I'm looking at a release, like from Papertrey, I'm trying to decide like what kind of technique would work with lots of these different cards. Okay. Yes, and so Laura Lee asked, what would you recommend from Papertrey if you don't own anything from them and you wanted to try it out? Well, I would say, depending on what you like, Papertrey's coming. But depending on what you like, they have some great scriptures that are stamps that you don't find a lot of other places, but I especially love their nested dies. They have lots of like cool shapes of nested dies. In this release, they have, let's see, they have this cool frame. I love shape dies. I love shape dies a lot. And they have every single release, they'll have something, let me show you, like this that you could make tags out of, or that you could use as like cool on your card just to add layers. So I love those things. I also really love their sentiment sets. So this is one from before, that's the birthday one, and then now they have the happy one. And so you can really combine their sets to use them for lots of different things. They have great fonts in their sets, and they have dies that go with them, so you can cut out the big words. It's really beautiful. So the one that we have today, the new one, is happy, and so you've got all these things that will cut out the happies, which I think is super cute. So y'all chime in on what your favorite thing is from Papertrey. The other thing that I'm really loving is their cardstock. If you just want to try to see what you think, it is really great cardstock. And I've had lots of requests to show the cardstock more and kind of look at some different colors, and this release was a great time to get that done. Arlene says wordfetti so that she can create sentiments that don't look like a ransom letter. So she's asking Papertrey if they have something specifically. So if y'all are wondering what she's talking about. I'm going to cut out one more just in case I lose a rose on the way. And then I'm going to go ahead and assemble this card, and we're going to make the other background, and then I'll talk about making the shaker card and what I came up with. So yes, I definitely go by, like I'll have an inspiration, but most of the time, all the things that I add to the cards are just because I'm playing around. So I don't say, oh, I'm going to make a 2-layered cupcake with all this, and I'm going to do it. I say more with my inspiration is, I really want to use purple, and I would love a purple cupcake, and I would love it to be just taking up most of the card, and I want to add some gold because purple and gold look amazing. What could I use for the gold? So that's kind of, my process is a little all over the place, but it really, it helps me to be a little bit more creative. Okay, so now we can put our cupcake together. Look at these. Look at how cute these are. Okay, so adorable. And we're going to be putting it on some acetate over this beautiful background. So this is the background where I'm playing with the Distress Spritz, and it's a beautiful gold fossilized amber on top of this beautiful, is this one lilac grace? No, this one's wisteria, winter wisteria. So it's going to look super cool. Now I did decide, this doesn't have a die for this foil plate. This is a new one called Framed Filigree, I believe. And so I did trim it. So I'm going to go around and fussy cut it a little bit just to give us some more room on the card, because I want you to be able to see some of the other details as well. And when you put all acetate over it, you don't get to see the beautiful gold as much. And so I just fussy cut it with some scissors and made it into what looks like a frame. And so I did use hot foil. I used a matte gold hot foil, and I used my glimmer machine to do this. The acetate that I used for this one is a heat-resistant acetate, and it's from Spellbinders. Now, I do not proclaim to be the absolute best at hot foiling. It is not one of those things that I do a whole lot, but I did, even though it's heat-resistant, I still got a little bit of warping of this paper. So it may just be that I'm not super skilled at hot foiling, but it may be that you're always just going to get a little bit of warping when you use an acetate, if you're putting it through some type of heat, because it is plastic. So just know that that's possible. Yes, that wisteria color is from Papertrey. It's a beautiful color. So if you're just joining in, today we are looking at 3 different ways to use acetate. And this acetate, you can buy packs of acetate, but you can also use some of your packaging materials. Like, people will put this in packages just to protect things, and just save it for your card making, because you can kind of upcycle a little bit and use that plastic on your cards. Now, if you're going to hot foil a plastic that you found in some type of packaging, I don't think I would recommend that, because you don't know if it's heat resistant and you could end up just melting it. But for those really nice acetate floating die cut cards, works great. That could have just been from some packaging that I found, and it would be great. I ended up using Lawn Fawn, but I have used packaging and it has worked fine for that kind of thing. Okay, so I just fussy cut that. So we got a nice little frame. Okay, so we've got our frame that's going to go here. Look at how beautiful that's going to look. Amazing. All right, so the problem with acetate when you're looking at it and building your card is, how in the world are you going to glue it on? How is this going to stick? It's clear, and there's teeny tiny little hot foil lines. So I solved the problem by building up a cupcake in the middle of it, and I'm going to adhere it behind the cupcake. So I'm going to add my cupcake directly to the acetate, and then I'm going to flip my acetate over, and I'm going to use adhesive in this area. Can you see how there's a little warping right there from the hot foil? That could be that I just did something wrong, but there is a little bit of warping, which is why I put a cupcake over it. I mean, it's also a frame, so I knew I was going to put something in there. So I'm going to build my cupcake, and I am going to use double-sided adhesive for this as much as possible, just so that it doesn't get any glue on that beautiful area. So I'm going to use my teeny tiny double-sided adhesive, and we may need a little bit of foam tape as well, because we're building up layers. So I'm going to take this double-sided adhesive, this is about 1/8 of an inch, and I'm going to put it just at the bottom right here, and we're going to attach it to the cupcake holder. I do wish there was a way to easily get the backing off this double-sided adhesive. Sometimes I have to really work at it. You know? Be nice if it just came off so easy, but not always the case. So I'm going with the smaller flowers on mine, and just barely attaching it here. Okay. All right, we got that attached, but you see that it's gonna lean back, because I've already got 2 layers of cardstock here. So I'm gonna add some foam tape to it, because I don't want my cupcake to be leaning like this and being all off. So I'm gonna add just a little bit of thin foam tape, and I know some other people make it, but scrapbook.com makes this super thin 1 millimeter, and so I'm just gonna add a little piece of that. And that will help make my cupcake it'll make it level, because we've got extra cardstock right here. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. But see how I've made it level? I know, it is dinner time. My kids are making a casserole out there, and I can smell it, so I know, it's torture. Okay, and this one we'll do the same thing. We'll do one little bit of adhesive, and then we'll do a little bit thicker foam tape. We're getting close to the end, though. Yeah, I really love Better Press plates for foiling. They do a great job. Have you tried foiling, using a Better Press plate and foiling on acetate? Remember, I think that's Delina. Okay, now I'm going to use a little bit thicker double-sided foam tape. So I'm going to go from 1 millimeter to 2 millimeters, which I know you may not see, but every foam tape has it will register how thick it is, okay? So we're going to go to 2 here. Let's see if we can still keep it. Now we got our nice flat cupcake. Looks cute. He might stand up a little bit on the edge, but that's okay. And then we are going to put it on here. So I'm going to keep the card together, even though I haven't glued down the acetate yet, and kind of lay out how I want this to go. I'm going to put my cupcake about in the middle, and I need a little bit more double-sided adhesive on this. So let's take just a little bit of this. And I've got some big news coming up. I can't wait to see all of you in March. There's going to be an announcement that y'all may be surprised about, you may not be surprised about, but I can't wait for you to hear it because I think a lot of you have been following my card making for a while. So there's lots of fun stuff coming to Nicki Hearts Cards. That wonderful class is happening this week, and I'll be live Friday for the Cardmaker Success Summit. You can register free, and I'm making a fun fold with Papertrey products. So we're going to be using a lot of Papertrey ink, dyes, and stamps to create a spinner fun fold card. So if you're ever interested in interactive cards. So I'm going to put my cupcake about center. Okay. So see, we've got it taped. And now we can hide some tape behind that. Now with these little roses that I'm going to put on top, I'm going to do teeny little bits of foam tape because they are, if you make them flat, they're going to be not the same height as the rest. Laura Lee is asking about the faith-based stamps. She's asking if there's an Amazing Grace stamp or hymns, if there's any hymns. And you know what? There actually is. I believe that there's a foil plate. Isn't there a foil plate that says that's the Amazing Grace song? We'll have to ask Julie on that one. So I'm just putting a little bit of foam tape on these, and we're going to build up a little top of the cake here. I can't believe how fast that Distress Spritz dried. That was awesome. I'm glad that dried during the... So I'm going to start making myself a pile of little roses right here. And we'll cut just little teeny pieces of foam. I know that's teeny work there, but we'll get it done. Yes, please do, Laura Lee. I love having people who've already seen the video when they're coming to the live, because they're there to ask questions, and sometimes they don't have questions if they hadn't watched it yet. So I would love it if you're there if you've already watched the class. So the class goes live, I think, at 8 a.m. Eastern on the 26th for my class, if you've got the free ticket. If you have the paid ticket, you can watch it anytime now. I'm going to do this one. Okay, so we're about done with this one. I'm going to show you how I adhere the acetate, and then we are going to, I'll put the sentiment on it for social media purposes, this nice happy birthday, but we will go ahead and show you the base of the shaker card. Oh, really, Laura Lee? So are there's certain colors that do better drying? That's good to know. So I'm just adding little roses to the top of this cupcake because why wouldn't you want more and more flowers? Yes, for sure. So I just did lots of different colors here, and I'm just building up the top of the cake like you were putting. It just reminds me of like a little wedding cake or cupcake where you're putting all these beautiful flowers on top of it. So I was leaning into the purple flowers and really building up my cupcake. All right, so Last little rose, and then let's attach our acetate. Look at how cute that looks. So this is not attached yet. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put our adhesive back here. So I'm gonna cut this out and put it along the bottom, and I can hide some adhesive there. I might ought to do that real quick. Let me go ahead and cut that, and we'll just do the whole sentiment, and that way you can see exactly how I did it. Because I did use that as a point, because acetate wants to bend a little bit when it's been hot. See how it's a little warped? So if I only adhere it right here, this part's gonna stick up just a little bit, so I will add that sentiment. Yes, so I wanted y'all to see this too while I cut this out. This card I haven't put a sentiment on yet, but I wanted to show you that I used, for that background right there, I used the cute, this is the Wrapped in Love set where it's presents. I used this and I just repeatedly stamped it on the back in Versamark. So just one of those things that I meant to tell you, and I wanted to say that I used a stamp set back there in clear ink, and it looks really good. I'm just going to quickly cut this so that we can put it on our card. Okay, I'll do my best to cut it straight. Okay, so here's our happy birthday. Not perfectly straight, but it works, right? Okay, so we got our happy birthday. That can go on our card. Save this one for later. Y'all tell me, what size pieces of cardstock do you save? Do you save every single size, or do you have kind of a limit that you like? I would love to hear that. So to me, for saving cardstock, I would save these. I would not save this. I would save this because I could do a sentiment along this edge, and I tend to save my little pieces in the package with the bigger pieces. Okay, let's put this. When I did this originally, I did a little bit of ink blending on the happy birthday, and you could do that if you wanted to. I think it does look nice. Let me just add a little bit. Just makes it extra special. So, and you probably can just use the leftover ink on your brush and just add just a little bit, just to give it a little color. Y'all know I like to just add color to things. Actually, I'm going to go a little darker. Just kind of makes it look extra special. Yes, that's kind of what I think about it too, Geneva. It's like if you could die cut something out of it or stamp a sentiment on it, then I generally save it. Especially if it's a color that I have. So I have this pack of paper. If it's not something random, if I don't know what the color is, sometimes I will toss it because I like to know what I'm using on a card. That may just be because I usually have to make a supply list. But I really, if it comes from a pack this size, I probably wouldn't keep, but I'm going to keep the others. Okay, there's our happy birthday. And I'm going to put this on just with double-sided adhesive. Still going to need to use my tweezers, I guess. Okay. Let's hold this. I'm going to put this along the bottom. That's going to give us even more area to glue down our cupcake. So now I'm going to take double-sided adhesive to the back, and we're going to put it on where you can't see it. So I'm going to go here. Yeah, Reva, I store mine by color as well. Do you store them in with their original pieces of cardstock, or do you just store like you have all purple and all red? I do a little of both. Are y'all like this with your double-sided adhesive where you have tons and tons of different kinds? You just pick what's right there at the time. Okay, so now I've got some adhesive on here. Let's line this up and we will put our beautiful acetate on. So I'd love to hear, I know we've already said who does their acetate and uses it for hot foiling. We had a few, not a whole lot, but have you used it like this on a card just to kind of add some extra pizzazz to the front? I love making layers, so I'd like to hear how you like to use it if you've done that. Okay, so now I've got all that double-sided adhesive off, and we can stick this down to the card. Okay. There we go. There's our cute card. Look at that gold. Isn't that beautiful? Oh man, I mean, our other one just makes me happy, but this one also really makes me happy. I love all that purple. So here's what we've done so far. We've created our acetate front with this. So I know these are very different cards. Super fun. Now I'm going to show you what I call my Beauty and the Beast card. And I'm just going to show you how I created the background because the background is amazing. And I have many videos on shaker cards, so I know that you can watch those on your own if you want to. We'll generally talk about how I used acetate for it, but we're not going to build the whole card. And it's this card right here. So in Beauty and the Beast, they use a lot of blues, golds, and then they have that beautiful red flower. And remember, the red flower's falling apart. It's kind of the beast is going to stay a beast if the flower falls apart. So to me, this just looked like a Beauty and the Beast card. I think I'll probably end up, I think you suggested doing thank you, but I'd like to hear in the comments, what kind of sentiment would you put on this card? This is the color we're going to use as the base. Then we are going to do some painting. So we are going to use this color as the base, and we are going to paint with this Distress Spritz. This is called Uncharted Mariner. Oh, so Brenda, it may not be working. Sometimes Linkdeli, depending on your browser, won't work right. Rachel, do you mind grabbing the link to my blog post today that has all of these supplies in it and putting it in there for people who can't seem to get the Linkdeli to work? It'll be NickiHeartsCards.com, and it'll be the blog post from today. And if you can put that in the chat, that'd be awesome. If you can't get that, Rachel, don't worry. We'll put it in the description for people who can't get the Linkdeli to work. Ooh, Get Well. That would be a good one for Get Well. Oh, Hello Beautiful. That would be a great one. So these Distress Spritz have this wonderful shiny component to them. So you do have to shake them up. And I don't know if you can see the shimmer in there. You see that? It's like a shimmery pigment. So I experimented with this Uncharted Mariner and Enchanted Evening. And what I did, because I was just playing around to see what happened, is I started to decide to actually spritz it. And I am going to start just getting it wet with spritz, but I'm going to use a paintbrush. Let me locate I'm going to use a paintbrush that is barely wet. Like I'm just going to spray it with a little bit of water. Okay. So I'm just going to spray this little thing with a little bit of water. And then we're going to spritz this paper pretty heavily. And then I'm going to create, so to me, I was going to create blue curtains that came down like this. And I was so shocked at how beautiful this came. Ooh, I like sending hugs. That's a great one. To my friend. That's a great sentiment too. Okay, so we're going to add some blue. And you can add it however you want to, as heavy as you want to. And then I'm actually going to spray the brush. So you see how I've sprayed the brush? And then I started creating my curtains just with random strokes and just kind of making some movement on the card. So here are my curtains. So I just am kind of going over it, and it has this nice depth to it that you don't have to have a whole lot on your brush to get a really cool look. So it kind of has almost like a white to it that can look nice. So I just went kind of randomly like this to make my little curtains. So this is supposed to look like blue curtains behind our gorgeous rose. Okay, and I just sectioned it off and kind of made, you know how curtains have wrinkles in them like this, where they've got folds? That's what I did. Nothing super fancy, but just something that I was experimenting with, and I really loved how it ended up turning out. So just painting this navy paper with this distress spritz. Let me hold it up so you can see how awesome this looks, because I don't think you can tell as much on the regular paper, and I think it looked so cool. Look at that. Can you tell? Does that look like curtains to you? It may not look like curtains to you, but it does to me. It makes me think of the curtains in Beauty and the Beast. So I'd never tried, you know, most people think, okay, well, I'm going to spritz some color in something. But I thought, well, what if I spritz color on color? Like, what does that look like? And so I just played with it, and I think it really turned out quite nice. So you can, I mean, it's not even really much water. It's just kind of like a little bit of the spritz on your brush and just making those strokes. And it may look like a mess right now. You got to let it dry. But it really, really looked wonderful on this background. So here's how I did on this one. This is what it was like dry, if you can see that. So I created some, it'll dry a little bit lighter, but it's got completely just so shimmery. Look at that shimmer. You see how beautiful that is? Up close, it looks so fun. Isn't that nice? So you do need to let it dry just a little bit. So what I did on this card, and I'll just briefly show you, and then we'll kind of go over all three of the cards and the ways to use acetate. I will be back with Papertrey next month, of course, and there will be some edited replays as well. So if you didn't catch all this and you want to catch the edited replay, it does usually take me a week or so to get that out. That'll be out on the channel as well. And I just think that this is super fun. So on this one, I used acetate. This one, you can use a flimsier acetate because it's just your shaker window. And I used this new set. Let me find it. So the new set is called Such a Treasure. Okay, and it's got a die and it's got layered stamps. Let me find the other stamp layer. Here it is. That does 2 different roses, and they have a flat layer and a dark layer. So I don't keep them in drawers. She's asking if I keep my paper pieces. So here's what I do. If I put this in a container, like a plastic container, I'm going to put my pieces in here so that they all stay together. And I usually put them in the back like this, whatever I might use again. And you can use the manufacturer's packaging like I have here, or you can use a sleeve like I do with these. So this is a sleeve from Office Depot, and I keep all kinds of little pieces of acetate in that sleeve. So I do it both ways. Ideally, I do everything in a sleeve, but you know how that goes. So this is Such a Treasure, and this is the smaller of the roses. I did the larger rose on this one, so you can see the 2 differences. So you got a big rose, you got a small rose. And you can stamp the frame, or you can use the die cut, which is what I did. And I picked this frame versus this frame because if you're going to create a shaker card, you need a place to put your foam tape to pop this up. And this is so skinny that it's not as easy on a super fancy frame like that versus this. This one fits foam tape of most sizes. So you can fit a foam tape like this around it and pop it up. And then you've got your acetate window. And then I'll show you the little sequins that I use. But this is still drying, so I'll let that dry. These are my blue curtains. Abstract blue curtains. Super fun. And then I'm going to add a sentiment to this, of course, too. But what was I about to? Oh, I was going to show you I just grabbed some blue sequins that I had. And did all of this. So I cut this out of brushed gold, added an acetate frame, and I used flimsy acetate in that because I didn't want to waste my super thick acetate on a shaker card. All you need is just something to keep the shaker pieces from coming out. So I will try to link in the description more shaker card videos so that you can see them. But I really loved how this one turned out. I'm going to let this sit over here and dry and probably make another card with it. This is what I call my Beauty and the Beast card. That is my favorite of the Disney movies, and I just thought it looks so much like that. So I'm calling this my Beauty and the Beast card. And then we made this one. I'll show you all what we did today. So we used acetate to create, I know with it zoomed in, it's a little hard for me to get all these in the frame here. But we created floating die cuts, which is a card like this where it's got the front that's clear. We created a panel with hot foiling on it. And I made a shaker card. So that's my 3 ways to use acetate. If you have some other ones, make sure you pop them in the chat for me. If you're on the replay, make sure you tell me you're on the replay so that you can enter for the next $50 gift card from Papertrey. We've already given away the live one, but you can enter the replay. Just type replay and tell me which card. Let me put them in order of what we made. I would love for y'all, before you go, tell me which card was your favorite. I'm going to try to get them all in the screen here. Here we go. So this will be number 1. Number 2, and number 3. Or you can say smiley face, purple, or Beauty and the Beast. Tell me what was your favorite way to use the acetate, which card you like the best. I'd love to just hear what is exciting to you so that I can keep making content that you love. And I will see you soon with the rest of this. If you haven't checked out the Papertrey Ink release, it is an amazing one, and it is definitely worth checking out. So I would love to see what you think. I love how this little guy turned out. I cannot wait to give this to the kids for their birthday. And then I got this one with the panel. This is number 2, where I did the hot foil, and then we put the cute purple cupcakes. That's a close second. And then I'm definitely a fan of the blue curtains that we made as well for the Beauty and the Beast card. Now let me pop in a few of the other cards that I made for this release so you can see those again. I know I briefly popped them in, but you can also make some more simple cards. You don't have to go all out on the acetate. They make some great cards. So this is one with the bigger rose. I did some background stamping. That's actually the stamp that makes the gift presents. So it's a present, like wrapping paper is what it's supposed to be like. And let's see if I can find the other one. Oh, and then with the emojis, I made the happy retirement as well. Can you see that? I have to cover up some of these. So these are a couple of extra cards that I made as well. And I love your suggestions on this, on the sentiments for these rose cards. They're super cute. So let me push these back up so you can see them. I'll make sure there's no lingering questions. And make sure you pop in there 1, 2, or 3. And what you're going to try next. Are you going to try any of these? Gonna try any of these. And then don't forget, last day tomorrow to sign up for the Cardmaker Success Summit. I'm going to be making this card with Papertrey Ink products. It's got a spinner on the inside. I can wrap it around so you can see how it spins. I had lots of fun with pattern paper there. So that class, there's a free option and there's paid options. So just check it out. The link will be there. Thank you, Rachel. Could you use the foil heat transfer? That's a good question on acetate. I am not sure. I don't know a whole lot about that heat transfer vinyl, but I think you probably could. I mean, I don't know, you could use a hot foil machine. So this one, you would probably have to use, you'd have to create you could die cut it. It just wouldn't have the gold part. So to get the gold on there, you're gonna need to use either foil or, like she said, possibly heat transfer vinyl, or you could use a gold pen. Let's see if a gold pen works actually. I think you could probably use a gold paint pen, trace it yourself, but it definitely helps to have the hot foil plate to do that. Yeah, super fun. And so I hope that all of you enjoyed this so much. I really enjoyed being here with you. I will miss you. I will be back in a few weeks with lives again. I'll be going live with Papertrey on the next release, and I'll be going live with Altenew at the end of March as well. So I will see all of you then, and I am so excited. Becky, you'll be at that Q&A on Friday. That's good. I'll be live with the Cardmaker Success at Friday at 3 p.m. on their YouTube channel. So if you want to ask questions, it's a quick one. It's only 30 minutes, but I will see all of you soon. So make sure you check me out on social media. I'll be posting pictures of these all week. Yes, and thank you, Papertrey, so much for the gift cards and for the replay. The replay will be announced in 1 week, and give me a little grace on that, as I may not be in the country in 1 week, but I will do my best to get that announced. And thank you, Janet. Mahalo. Yes. All right. I'm so sorry, Arlene. I am abandoning you. It's like 3 weeks, possibly. Not really 3 weeks, but by the time I get back live, it will be, because I got to make all the projects. Yes, I will be back, though. Don't worry. Don't worry. So yeah, I hope all of you have a great day, and I will see you soon. I hope to see you at the Cardmaker Success Summit. Make sure you check the description if you missed any of the links. And thank you so much, Rachel. Thank you, Papertrey. Have a great night. Y'all all go get some dinner. I'm going to go eat some casserole my kids made. Very good. Awesome. Have a great day. Bye. Bye.